At 6 o'clock on your Wednesday morning with a live look at the U.S. Capitol, where tonight President Trump, we know in Washington, D.C., plans to address the nation in a prime time address. That'll happen from the White House. They say he will look back on the year and look ahead to 2026. We will have more on this anticipated address coming up this morning on 13 Sunrise. Thanks for waking up with us. It's now 6 o'clock on your Wednesday. I'm Sam in for Julia this week, along with Julia and Matt. Here at home, quiet start to the day and warmer, you'll notice, from the last couple days.
Which is crazy. We're going in the opposite direction of winter, it certainly seems. And by the time you look at our forecast for Christmas week, it's crazy.
The deeper we go into December, the warmer we get. Something things
I know,
flip-flop.
it's weird. Yeah.
So we'll enjoy it though. We're above freezing this morning. That's some good news for you. We'll be above freezing all day long, so great news. Now there's a little bit of patchy mist that's coming out there this morning. Not everyone's gonna get wet, but you may see a few little raindrops hit your windshield as you're headed out the door this morning. Here's the tricky part about the forecast though. Normally mist, whatever, right? Temperatures, air temperatures, they're well above freezing. I mean, right now in Indy, we're sitting at 39. One of the coldest spots we have is Wayne County. We're in the mid 30s. We got some mid 30s to the west too, but most of us are upper 30s and low 40s. But as the mist is coming through, we also have to look at some road temperatures. Those are anywhere from about 29 degrees to 33 degrees. So there could be a few spots that get a temporary slick spot now up through 8:30, 9 o'clock, then I think this little mist is out of here. Right now we're sitting in the mid and upper 30s. I mean, you go up towards Wabash is 38, same in Lebanon and Lafayette, it's 37, good morning. In Noblesville, farther to the south, a little bit cooler in spots. For example, you get way out east or way out west, we're a little bit colder, still above freezing though. Crawfordsville and in Richmond, 37, in Martinsville, right now in Avon, Brownsburg, it's 40 degrees and it's 42 there at the campus of IU. So we're safely above freezing, and we're a lot warmer than we were even yesterday morning, and you probably noticed quite a big difference as well. So we'll watch this mist as it comes on through. Hopefully not a big deal. Now, if there are some slick spots, we'll track them, we'll let you know, but just a little mist now. We'll get some sun breaks later today. And then coming up, we've got a much bigger system tomorrow. Windy weather, gusts up to 50 miles per hour or so with some rain. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a much busier day. We'll let you know the timing of everything and when temperatures will drop with that cold front too. In the meantime, we'll keep a close eye on traffic. Right now, everything's flowing all right. No crashes, no accidents. We're looking pretty good this morning. You're gonna see a lot of green on these maps. Most of that mist is farther to the north. So for example, this is Gas City, I-69 there at US 35, also State Road 22. Looks like traffic's moving fine. It would be very hard to see the mist in the first place, but you could see a couple raindrops out there this morning. You're catching that wind right now in Richmond. Notice how the camera is slowly swaying, but hey, it's a southwest wind to warm us up. We'll let you know when 50+ mile per hour winds come in later tomorrow.
Matt, thank you. Well, nearly a week after the redistricting bill died here in the Indiana Senate, Governor Mike Braun is speaking about it.
And this is one of many topics he talked to us about to reflect on the first year in office. Anna Chalker joins us live from the State House this morning with what the governor believes went wrong when it came to trying to pass redistricting. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. The governor has confirmed to us redistricting will not be brought up throughout the rest of this legislative session. And he says, you know, while the majority of Republicans in the Senate voted against redistricting, the opposition was coming from the other side of the aisle with Democrats. And the governor says when House Bill 1032 was making its way through the Senate, lawmakers became out of sync of what most Hoosier Republicans, other states, and the Trump administration wanted. He tells us he'd still support primary challenges to lawmakers who voted against the bill, and that includes those Republicans. And even though Braun is still pushing for redistricting, he says it's important to let the conversation die right now.
It's a national issue that put us out of sync with all other states, the administration, a large majority of Republicans and conservatives in this state. I think you let it rest there, and then you focus on the things we have under our control.
Some have wondered if federal funding would be at risk to the lawmakers who voted against this. Braun tells us he believes he has a strong relationship with those in D.C. to keep that from happening. And while redistricting might have been like the biggest debate of the year because it was 4 months of back and forth within the state, there are some other priorities that Governor Braun had this year. So coming up, we'll share some of those, and we'll talk about another big debate that we saw between residents and the state, and that is data centers moving into rural communities.
All right. Thanks so much, Anna.
Dustin Grove and Emily Longnecker, by the way, covered the redistricting debate in depth each week on our show, Crossroads Politics. You can stream those episodes anytime on our streaming app, WTHR+.
And this morning, pastors and church members are reaching out to the governor with their own message.
They want him to get rid of the death penalty here in Indiana. Yesterday, a group called Indianapolis First Friends in the Shalom Zone delivered more than 70 handwritten letters to the governor's office, all pushing to abolish the death penalty. This effort comes as 5 men are still on Indiana's death row.
Now, the state did execute 3 men in the last year, all with an injection of pentobarbital. That's a costly drug and is difficult to obtain, and it only has a shelf life of 90 days. Those concerns have led some to support bringing back, believe it or not, firing squads. But this group says the method just isn't the problem here.
God hates the sin but loves the sinner. And that's where we are. We believe in forgiveness. And so religiously, our doctrine tells us, and this is multiple churches raised within Shalom Zone, that we should not be in the business of killing human beings.
Now, Governor Braun's deputy chief of staff did meet with that group briefly and promised a more formal conversation before the end of the year.
Well, this morning we're learning Marion County Sheriff Kerry Forstall will run for an Indiana Senate seat in 2026. This is according to our partners at the Capitol Chronicle. Forstall is term limited, so he can't run for sheriff again next year. Instead, he'll be running for the seat in District 31. That area covers the northeastern corner of Indianapolis, plus the Fishers area in Hamilton County. Republican Senator Kyle Walker currently represents the area, but announced earlier this month he will not seek a second term. He was one of the Republicans, by the way, opposed to redistricting. Well, if you look into the sky in Hamilton County, at least, you could see a drone. That drone, by the way, is helping first responders.
Our Marina Silva is in studio this morning with how the technology works and how those first responders are using it. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. So right now, when you call 911 in Hamilton County, dispatchers can send a drone up to your location, getting there before first responders. While in the air, the dispatchers can give other first responders real-time information as they're heading to that call. Drones have been in use by Hamilton County for more than a year, but now with artificial intelligence capabilities coming, these tools have the potential to be more powerful than ever. The new drones can fly at more than 100 miles an hour and can respond anywhere in the county. This is something first responders say they didn't think would be possible even 5 years ago.
Those drones can simply be flown in a grid pattern and looking for a missing 3-year-old wearing a red shirt and blue jeans, and it can fly in that grid until it finds it and stay overhead and keep an eye on that 3-year-old until a patrol asset can get hands on that.
Hamilton County is the testing program for the rest of the country on this program. Now, Flock is the company behind the drones. They tell us police solely own that data. Flight logs are public and drone cameras stay forward facing until they reach the call. So people do have some privacy concerns about those drones. So coming up at 6:30, we'll discuss what police have to say about protecting your privacy.
All right, very important. We'll see you then. Thank you, Marina.
Well, happening today, a man involved in an officer shooting in 2023 will be sentenced.
38-year-old Antoine Beach was found guilty back in November of unlawful possession of a firearm by a serious violent felon. According to court documents, officers were at a gas station for another investigation when a person told them a man in a white Chevy in the parking lot had an active warrant for his arrest. Metro Police say that's when they saw a gun in the car and told Beach not to reach for it.
IMPD officers claim Beach began reaching for that gun, and that's when officers were forced to open fire. According to police, the officer who fired the shot never had his body-worn camera activated, and a second officer also near the front of the vehicle activated his body-worn camera after the shooting.
The trial date is now set for the man accused of killing his father and his father's girlfriend on Thanksgiving Day.
This all happening before he allegedly then set the house on fire. Jaron Morgan appeared in court yesterday, pleading not guilty to murder and arson charges. Morgan's father, Courtney, died at the scene near 38th and Arlington. Courtney's girlfriend, Megan Wikerson, died in the hospital.
Morgan is now set to go on trial in February. Right now, he's being held in the Marion County Jail without bond.
Well, also happening today, the Indianapolis Local Education Alliance will meet today to talk about recommendations to reshape Indianapolis public schools in the new year.
This has been ongoing for quite some time. It's a joint effort by Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett and IPS Superintendent Dr. Alicia Johnson. So they released 5 priorities for the Indianapolis Local Education Alliance. They want IPS to be exempt from the $1 law, which allows charter programs to come in and buy a decommissioned school building for $1. The next priority would require all public schools to participate in the district's transportation system or risk losing funding. The third recommendation aims to limit who can approve schools within the district.
Another priority focuses on creating a clear framework for making decisions within the district. This also allows the community to give their input and feedback and also have a better understanding behind those changes. So the final recommendation is expanding support for the most vulnerable students. This also includes students with disabilities, those experiencing homelessness, and students with a language barrier. So after the Alliance makes that final decision on recommendations, they'll pass them along to state lawmakers. Hi, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Julia. We're off to a warmer start this morning. We're above freezing. However, road temperatures are right at freezing. There could be a slick spot as some patchy mist starts to move in, but throughout the day, we have a quiet day. Maybe you're headed to Christmas at the zoo later tonight, starting at 5. Hey, as temperatures cool off, they really aim for about 37 degrees for the penguins, so you may see them outside in their exhibit. We'll have much more in your forecast for the next couple of days coming up.
And no deal has been reached to extend the subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, but House Republicans aren't ready to give up yet, ahead the latest push to get a bill passed before the new year.
And President Trump plans to address the nation later today. Coming up, we'll tell you what we expect him to talk about. That's coming up.